Right, everyone, welcome to episode number unknown. No one knows, but that's fine. So, welcome back to Rapid Fusion. So we have some of the engineering team here today and the lovely Becca from marketing. So, everyone, today we're going to talk about our new product, which I'm guessing will be launched by the time this comes out, which is Cerberus. It sounds very, very fancy. I'm going to pass over to Becca to introduce herself, and she's also going to say why it's called Cerberus, because the engineering team are not allowed to name anything.
No, you guys got banned from naming stuff when everything started being called smart something.
They're all smart, though.
I don't know. There was definitely something that I was like, well, what's smart about it? And I think Tom turned around and said, I don't know, it's pretty dumb, actually. At that point, I was like, right, naming rights taken away.
You're giving away all the secrets.
But yeah, I'm Becca. So I'm the marketing manager for Rapid Fusion. So I've obviously been managing the launch of Cerberus, which has been insane. Lots of moving parts and lots to get done. But as you say, quite an interesting name. And it comes from the fact that it has 3 tool heads. So all of our systems, you've got Apollo, Zeus, Medusa, and now Cerberus, have that kind of mythological theme to them. And obviously, Cerberus is a 3-headed dog. So it fits quite nicely, although a couple of people have mentioned that it also works to be called Fluffy from the Harry Potter films.
Oh, I like that, yeah.
So I think as a nickname it can be Fluffy, but officially
maybe.
it's Cerberus.
I feel like it's a bit rigid to be fluffy. It seems like it's a bit serious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's ironic, who knows?
Yeah, although, have you seen the 3-headed dog on Harry Potter?
Yeah, it was
Scary.
pretty mean, like.
He was mean.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess we better go into a little bit about what Cerberus is. So Cerberus is in the Medusa family, essentially. Mm-hmm. So what Cerberus is a containerised hybrid system. So it means you can pick it up and put it anywhere in the world. And within 20 to 25 minutes, you could be printing, milling, both with pellet and filament, which is quite unique. And it's been designed in such a way to allow the system to be really, really robust. So we got that sort of ecosystem from Medusa. So the Siemens motion system. So everything is all very, very industrial. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to just pass you on to the rest of the team before we go too in depth. So I'm going to, you've already seen Brian. Have you seen one of our other episodes? So Brian, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Martin. I'm Brian. I'm the mechatronics engineer at Rapid Fusion. So my main role could involve sensor integration from robotics to essentially crafting a very nice user interface for the user to use our products.
Cool. Thank you very much. And Tom, I believe this is your first podcast, so go for it.
First podcast. Yeah. I'm Tom. I am the design engineer here at Rapid Fusion. And my job is to basically extract Martin's thoughts and make them into 3D. I think that's probably the most accurate way to do it.
You don't want to extract
I love
all
how
my thoughts.
simple you make that sound.
So Martin's got an idea and he comes to me and says, can you do this? And I say, probably. And then I try and do it. And then we do it. And that's it, basically.
Simple as that.
Simple as that, yeah, more or less.
Perfect. Cool. So, I think let's go into a bit more detail then. I think maybe, Becca, let's talk about how we've gone from where we stood, I guess, at the beginning of the summer to like thinking, okay, let's get a product, turn it around in not so many months, all the way to get us to launch at Formnext, I think.
Yeah,
I think because you were driving the time frames, really, let's be honest.
I think one thing that I stopped mentioning because I didn't want everyone to be stressed out at me was that actually the idea from the product came really from me, you, Jake, and my dad.
Yes.
And we looked at Medusa and went, how could we make it so that it could be absolutely anywhere? Picked up by something like a Chinook and dropped. And from that idea, quite quickly, we went, cool, let's order a 20-foot container and see if we can get it in it. And then obviously Formnext is a massive, massive show for additive manufacturing. And we knew that we wanted to be there. We'd already kind of soft launched Medusa with an event at the office. So I think initially when we kind of were looking at it all, the plan would have been to take Medusa. But actually when we realised, right, we can get this in a 20-foot container. It can be a brand new product. It can be something like really cool, really exciting that we can launch there and people will see for the first time and they won't have heard about it before. The timeline kind of quite quickly, yeah, got pushed to well, at the time of recording, we'll be there next week, won't we? So yeah, it is really exciting that it's going to launch at the event. It's also been an interesting one logistically to get to the event.
Yeah, definitely.
I think when you think about the ideas of these things, don't you? You go, oh yeah, like getting that container on the stand, that's a great idea. But then you think, well, everyone else is going to be building their stands, so it needs to go in there first and come out last and everything like that. It's been a bit of a crazy one, and because of the timeline and the build process with you guys, trying to do the marketing while you're building it and asking questions as we go along, being like, well, we don't know because we've not built that bit yet. So we're like, okay, cool, we'll come back to it. It has been very manic, but we've done it.
Yeah, we've done it. And
we've done it. It's going to be there.
It's going to be there, and the logistics were a nightmare. And we did lose a whole week because of logistics. And if anyone's built anything, losing a week at the end is not insignificant when you lose the week 2 weeks prior to that week. But anywho, the team all dug out blind and we got there. And yeah, really, really proud of kind of what we've achieved, really. And yeah, in terms of getting Medusa in a container to turn it into the Cerberus. See, Tom and I always had a half an eye on the fact that it wanted to be containerized. I think we may have lost a bit of that eye throughout the Medusa process because it was probably a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be. But what it's done is it's made our product line, I guess, a little bit more streamlined in terms of how we design. So Medusa and Cerberus have got, I guess, the same sort of DNA essentially. So Tom, do you want to just talk us through kind of the thoughts on how I come up to your desk and say, oh, by the way, I've just ordered a 20-foot container. Now I need you to thumb that into that.
Well, I think so. It came about. I'd just been on holiday for 2 weeks in Canada, having a very, very relaxed time. Like we've been getting things sort of a bit more chilled out. I was like, okay, we'll go into the summer. We'll get Medusa all like, just tidied up. Everything will be really neat and tidy, and that'll be my summer. I come back and Martin says, "Yeah, we've got a new plan. It's completely different to what your plan was 2 weeks ago. We've bought a 20-foot container and it's arriving on Thursday. Bearing in mind this is Monday, so we want you to confirm that this thing can be like heavily modified enough to fit into that container." And so I was like, "Oh no." Where's my relaxation sort of popped at that point, and went about in the CAD, and it actually does fit, which is very, very lucky, I think, because we had always a little bit of a plan to, like, in general, you want to fit things in containers. It's a good idea because they're so easy to move once something's in a container. But we had kind of like put that on the sidelines because of the way things worked out and everything that we had in place already. We were like, oh no, let's just make it suitable for a curtain cider or whatever. And if we need to, we'll have some sort of specially built mega crate to ship this thing in. But then, we went back to look at it and we're like, okay, we can make this thing fit. So let's set about figuring out how we want to modify it. Talk to fabricators, talk to loads and loads of different people to try and get this thing to work. And then container arrived, and then fabricators on site and cut and shut and cut and shut and cut and shut, and I'm cutting and shutting. There's like fabricators cutting and shutting. It's all like, pretty hectic, but I mean the thing fits and it looks like it's supposed to be there. I think that's what is really nice about like how it's come about and how it's, well, you'll see it in Film Next and on the launch event and stuff like that, how it's turned out that it probably 3 weeks ago, all the panels were off and it looked like a complete mess. All the panels are on now. Mario's wrapped it. It's the right color. Everything matches and it looks like it's supposed to be there. And that's something that's quite important to me when I design stuff, is you want to make it look like someone cares about it. Because that means that's from the off, it sets you off on a good sort of expectation, sort of people know that you care, I suppose. And that's, it's quite important, I think.
No, exactly.
I think that what highlights that really nicely actually is when we were looking at the colour, the specific green that we wanted to wrap it in, and there were 4 options, and there was like a 2.5% difference between each one. Like, to the naked eye, there is no difference to these
we
greens.
could see the difference.
And there is like 10 of us like looking at these greens. I was like, oh no, I think that one's it's one of these two. So like the fact that we were looking at the colours that closely, and that's, you know, something that's a visual aspect of the product. When you then go into what the product actually contains, and that same care is taken into those, it shows how special this product is and how thought about it has been.
No, exactly. Thank you for that. And Tom's like to echo the fact that so in terms of our design ethos, we do definitely pride ourselves as a team to make it's got to be practical and it's got to be fit for purpose, but also it's got to be beautiful, because we could all design like Russians, but I feel having
what are you saying?
I mean, Rev 1 sometimes is a little bit Russian.
I don't know if anyone ever saw Sally. Did anyone see Sally?
No one ever seen Sally.
No one ever saw Sally. Yeah, we've still got a name plaque. She's like, Sally was the Mark 1 Medusa very, very, very early on.
Don't forget about Steve.
Don't forget about Steve. Who, we don't talk about how Steve and Sally interacted.
No. No, but Sally, I did see the name plaque the other day, actually. I feel like we should put her in a bit more of a pride and place. But Sally was absolutely useless, if I'm completely honest. I mean, we learned a lot, and that was the idea. But oh dear, God, that was hard work, wasn't it?
That was a painful process, trying to get Sally to do anything that you wanted her to do. So, yeah. Special place in my heart for that.
Yeah,
Didn't help that it was made completely wrongly, but on top of that, the design wasn't fit for purpose, and the manufacturing definitely wasn't fit for purpose.
That manufacturer was definitely not used again.
Yeah, but they were very, very cheap. So
yeah, exactly. But no, I think that's the joys of what we do here at Rapid Fusion. We can go from idea to something that looks the part in a very short space of time. How many months was it?
So I was actually trying to figure this out yesterday, because I wanted to know when the container got delivered, and it got delivered mid-July.
Okay. Oh dear, that's not a lot of time, is it really?
No, so we're sat here mid-November, so 4 months.
4 months.
In 4 months, you put Medusa in a container.
And we didn't just do that.
We jazzed her up.
Jazzed her up.
so jazzed.
We also completely changed the motion system as well. So I'm going to pass over to Brian. So Brian, when I said, okay, we're going to delete the clear paths and we're going with a full Siemens PLC, talk me through it.
Oh, that was a big step forward, I think, from going from these, stepper motor, enhanced stepper motors to full on like industry grade, top class, like full closed loop motors. It's just been an incredible upgrade on the system. And the initial thought was like, yeah, we're finally going to do that. And I'm really excited. I was really excited in the beginning because
because not where the story's going.
I was really excited in the beginning because I didn't know how much I had to go through to make this thing work. Because surely it's just a few chunks of steel, and it's just needs to spin up synchronously. Surely.
Okay. How did that work out?
I mean, it only took like 2 and a bit months of constant dev and 8-hour calls on Fridays with Siemens support to try and figure this thing out. But I think eventually we've got to a point where the machine can be controlled synchronously, basically do what it's told, and is safe for operation.
No, exactly. And I think the key point to add on to here is, see, with a industrial PLC like we've managed to wrangle into submission, or Brian has, normally there's a lot of risk in that, because you need to be a very, very skilled operator. But what Brian has managed to achieve in the way that we've made that architecture work is it acts like a normal 3D printer, like a desktop printer, essentially. And it does that in a safe manner. And that's like a real step change in terms of like skill level, because the clientele that we're going to be hopefully using this system aren't interested in being a CNC operator, or they're not interested in being have a master's degree in engineering. They're just normal people, and they want to be able to push go and get their part, and that's all they're interested in. So I think it's quite easy to downplay, but it's incredibly difficult to get an industrial ecosystem like Siemens have got to make that act like a desktop 3D printer is it's not to be underestimated. Do you want to give us a few little tidbits on kind of what you've managed to achieve and why those little details are important?
Absolutely. I think the key bit is we've transitioned a industrial motion system to be controlled by simple step and direction commands from a normal, typical open source 3D printer controller. And I think with that flexibility, that means anyone who's familiar with our existing open source firmware and software can easily use our machine as typical 3D printers, as they've commonly used in
exactly.
I
Also,
think it kind of links back to one of my favourite stories about when you and Jake first sat down and said like what you wanted to achieve out of Rapid Fusion, like as a whole. And you said that you want Karen from accounts to be able to work an industrial 3D printer. And I think that like it links really nicely to what you're saying about the end user of this, right? And if you have a product that can be dropped anywhere into any situation and print, that's great, but it's useless if you don't have a person there who can use it. So you have to otherwise it's just like oh yeah, look at this really cool product we've made, but it's not usable.
No.
So it means that actually, yeah, it's a really cool product. It can be dropped into some insane situations, and the people there are going to be able to use it for exactly what they need, even if it is Karen from accounts. We do actually have a Karen from accounts, which makes the conversation even better.
And she's lovely.
She is.
But also, I think Karen could do it. You know.
We need to get a video, don't we, of Karen
definitely.
working the printer.
And I think that's just like the whole ethos. It's in our DNA. We always work backwards from the customer, and every single step that we can remove from the customer because we can automate it, that's what we do. And that process it's incredibly easy to say. But when I say to Brian, okay, well now we need to delete about 4 of them steps, mate, because that's way too much work. That's where the sort of the headache comes for you. But then what we do is we eliminate that for the client, right? And it makes it even more usable. And I do the same when I'm mocking up the UI, for example. You start with about 10 buttons, and then by the end you need to be ended up with like 1 or 2, because it's all about ease of use, and it needs to be very, very clear of how the user gets from A to B. A is stood there, and B is a print in their hand, and all the stuff in between should be handled by clever software, firmware, and hardware. So that's essentially what we've attempted to do, and I think we've pulled it off. And obviously, we're really looking forward to showing everyone in real life next week, or as this goes out, it'll be. You could have already seen it. I don't know. It's like we're time traveling.
See how quickly Wes can get the episode pulled together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Come on, Wes. I reckon you can get this out by this afternoon.
Yeah.
Come on, this is all golden content. All you got to do is push go.
It's literally 0 edit required. Even the glass that I broke before this podcast.
Can everyone see the wet patch by Tom's feet?
It's not where you expect it to be either.
Perfect. Well, I think I've sort of talked enough, I think. Has anyone got anything else to add?
I think we've obviously spoken about, like what Cerberus is, and we've touched a little bit on kind of the end user, but it might be worth just like running through kind of what use cases you see it being utilized in, just so that
Yeah, absolutely.
the
So
audience understands.
it's green, so one of them could be the military.
Not like we did that on purpose.
No, yeah. So obviously, with the current climate, being able to rapidly deploy a piece of equipment and then also move that logistically around a battlefield is quite useful. Being ex-military myself, I acutely understand the strains the supply chain would have in a military setting. So I sort of always had that in the back of my mind, that a piece of equipment like this would be extremely useful. And that could be printing vehicle spares, it could be printing replacement drone parts, which is very, very useful for the military. And I guess the key is it can be set up fast and also can be packed down fast. So that asset, instead of being a fixed asset, like a whole room full of 3D printers, this could be rolling with the battlefield, which is obviously, by all accounts of some individuals that we spoke to, is going to be extremely useful. So I guess our next phase on that is to do some field testing, understanding the how the system performed on rough terrain and all those sort of good stuff. And so Medusa is launched and it's ready for pre-order. Cerberus has got a little bit of time before we take orders on that, and obviously Tom will be working diligently to understand vibrations and all these sort of detailed parts that needs to come together to ensure that the system is battle ready, if you want to call it that. And then also, the system is obviously great for anyone that needs to deploy fast. So oil and gas sort of springs to mind.
Yeah.
Mining, if it's in a sort of austere environment like the Australian outback or something like that. And then also humanitarian. Because if there's a disaster and people need spare parts fast, being able to have a manufacturing hub set up really, really fast is, I think, could be extremely useful. So yeah, that's kind of my initial thoughts on who could benefit. And then also there's also the companies that are like, okay, I need a machine, but we may be expanding our operations shortly and we don't want to hardwire something in. Maybe we just want to chuck it in this factory, but we could move later. So anyone that wants to be flexible, really, and having a system that can be moved around their factory floor with relative ease. I say relative ease, it's actually Tom and I had the joys of moving the container out of our workshop. I'm going to just put it into perspective.
Probably a few more grey hairs from me from that one.
There's a few more grey hairs. You're pretty grey as it is. So for more to come out, it was pretty stressful. So I think it started with us probably purchasing the wrong wheels, if I'm completely honest. So just picture this. Imagine a 5-ton shopping trolley with a sketchy wheel.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
I get anything more to add to that analogy, Tom?
Mario was driving. To give Mario credit, he was actually quite a good driver. So, we didn't crash it, which I think we nailed it.
Thank God for
We
that.
nailed it, and we all got our toes. So. But yeah, so I think that's all I've got for kind of what we could use it for.
No, that's cool. I think that sums it
Does
up.
that answer it?
Yeah, I think that sums it up nicely. Really
Perfect.
nicely.
So if anyone's interested in learning more, contact us. Hit the like bell. What else is there?
Like and subscribe.
Subscribe.
Get on your TikTok.
And,
Have we got a TikTok? Is it TikTok?
That's a really good question that I don't know off the top of my head, because
edit that bit out.
we have a social media manager who manages our socials.
Must have it.
I don't know if Rapid Fusion does. We focus a lot on LinkedIn,
Right.
as the main platform for Rapid Fusion. So everything goes up on there. So everything.
I think things go on Facebook as well because my mum tends to like stuff.
Nice.
Very nice.
I like that. And we've got an Instagram as well. Instagram's quite a good one. But yeah, mainly it's LinkedIn for Rapid Fusion. It's the right platform for it. So there's a press release coming out that will give some more information on Cerberus. There'll be obviously some more information coming out on Medusa now that it's available for pre-order. There'll be loads of stuff going up off the back of Form Next, me and the lovely Wes will be out there. So there'll be loads of video content from that. There'll be launch videos. There's a lot in the pipeline.
Yeah.
Although we need to get Medusa back first, and she's going to be the last to come out.
Yeah, I know exactly. Well, I'm looking forward to getting it back. Do some more printing. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. Awesome. Like, subscribe. Peace out.
Bye.